Hello everyone, this is Sierra's Trivia. Welcome back to another episode of our Black Myth Wukong Let's Play. So we're done with Chapter 1, and let's move on to Chapter 2. Feng qi huanghun. The wind starts at dusk. We're going to Huangfengling, the Yellow Wind Ridge. It's another part of the story that occurs pretty early on in the original novel. And of course, we're going to get a different take on the events now that we're in the future. I'll translate this banner later. And yes, that's us as a porcupine.
小施主来此的目的，老衲多少猜到几许。
I can guess why you're here. He calls himself Lao Na, which is a reference Buddhist monk used to call himself. Those who are impatient can't eat hot noodles, as in the temperature hot. Careful on the road. Next time you have holes in yourself, no one's gonna save you. Alrighty, so he will be back. He's our narrator for Chapter 2. And the last two lines, he basically says that there is a problem of the cats and mice here. And that represents the tiger vanguard that we will be definitely fighting here. And the rats are kind of twofold. Huangfengling, or the Yellow Wind Ridge in the original novel, was controlled by a monster who was originally a sable. Sables are kind of like your half mice, half ferret type of creature, and it lived under the mountains where Buddha is from. And because he's so close to listening to Buddha's scriptures, he got powerful, absorbed a lot of the energy emitted from the location, and once he had the powers, he got, I guess, thirsty once, or hungry, and he drank the oil from the little oil lamp used by Buddha when he's preaching his scriptures. Ooh, okay, so up there, as you can see, we have some repeating crossbow enemy. They're new, and they're the reason why we were filled with arrows earlier. And that's why when he left, he says, you know, careful which way we go. You know, if we are with holes again, he's not going to save us. And the other part is that going the straight and narrow isn't always going to get you there. So he's hinting that we have to kind of explore and find some off-beaten path here, which definitely will be helpful. This is a much bigger stage and much more open stage compared to Stage 1, and the difficulty will definitely pick up, as you can see right away. Now, because these are fire arrows, I think we can still use our fire protection cloak if we wanted to. But I'm gonna just try to row our way through and hunt them down. There's one right there, and there's one right there. We can go invisible. And we're gonna go to the one in the back first. And there's also a melee with shield. And, ooh, it's a legitimate shield this time. Okay, you know what? We're gonna take care of this threat first. And then focus on this guy. It's also a rat, as you can see. Rat or mice. Same term in Chinese. We got more of the silk. I really do want to find one of the shrines, and I want to teleport back to stage 1, because there's a bunch of things you can pick up after beating the stage. And going back to what the first part of the rap was. Now, the art form that he's performing is called Shanbei Shuoshu. Shanbei is a location name. Oh, we just picked up Qingshan Bones. Used for alcohol? Yeah, new stage, lots of new stuff. Yeah, we can soak this in our liquor. And after drinking, we increase our max health cap. Wow. Kind of an interesting random pickup here. And the Shanbei Shuoshu, right? Shanbei is a reference to a location. Shaanxi is a province in China. It's kind of in the Midwest. And Shanbei is the northern region of Shaanxi. We have ourselves a very pretty looking horse head right here. It's a different type of alcohol. We got ourselves a second drink. Previously we had only the coconut alcohol that heals for 1/3 of your max health every time you drink it. Here, 高而亮. Every time we drink this, we immediately heal for 20% of our max health. After a while, we'll slowly heal up another 25% of our max health. So it's a delayed heal for a total of 45% versus immediate 33%. Now, despite being a horse's head on the decorative jar here, this is a lamb-based alcohol. So basically, lamb milk is used to ferment. What else did we pick up here? 甘草. Well, this particular herb is good for your throat. I had this quite a few times growing up whenever I had throat problems. Now, back to the rap. He is introducing the area to us. Essentially, his starting line was 黄风岭800里. 黄风岭is the name of the location. It's the ridge here. Yellow wind sort of goes along with the dusty theme. The location thematics kind of inspired by parts of, Midwestern China. And 800里 is how far this ridge stretches, how big this area is. Li is a unit of length that was used for ancient China. It's roughly 500 meters if you have to, convert it today. Wow. Tornado. Yeah. Sandstorm. Yellow wind. The sand comes into play here. And it used to be a very rich and wealthy place. 城市关外富饶地. That's the first line of the rap. And 一朝蜀患凭空起 is suddenly there was a rat problem out of nowhere. And it caused the place to go downhill until no one lives here anymore. 无父无君无法纪 means no father, no liege or lord, and no law. And that's basically a reference to some of the Confucian ideas of like bureaucracy. The entire principle is, respect your father in a family unit, respect your lord in a country unit. And that's how Confucianism structure is built. And here we don't have that anymore. No father, no lord. It's a breakdown of civilized world, essentially. 为非作歹有天辟. This is a main tenet from Journey to the West, where most of the monsters that come down and make ruins in the world, in the mortal realm, have some sort of connection in the heavens that protects them. So 天辟 means protected by heaven. In this case, the little sable monster, the little rat problem they have initially was this sable that used to live in the mountains next to Buddha, and after he stole the oil, he drank it. He was worried that he was going to get caught, and he tried to flee. So Buddha sent one of his Pusa, in this case Lingji Pusa. He gifted him 2 items to contain the sable, because he knows the sable can control elements of the wind and cast a really strong wind spell, which I guess that's what that is. And the 2 items is, there's a Dingfeng Dan, which is this, Dan we talked about many times, sort of this concentrated alchemy product. And Dingfeng means to freeze the wind, right? Ding is our freeze spell, and Feng means wind. And the other thing he gifted him was this flying dragon staff. So it's just a regular staff with the flying dragon carved on top. Wow, the scenery is really pretty here. And when you cast the staff, the dragon comes to life. And and I just destroyed some old relic by bumping into it. And the dragon comes alive and is able to contain the sable monster. So Lingji essentially captures the monster and brings it back to Buddha. Buddha looks at the monster, sees his crime for stealing the oil, and allows him to be exiled to the mortal realm as a punishment. So he comes to this region and eventually ends up taking over here, becomes a problem for Wukong and his master Tang Seng, as well as Bajie by this time, as the 3 of them are crossing into this area. And we'll just take care of some mobs as we continue to tell the story. Eventually, he casts the wind against Wukong after Wukong uses sort of the clone spell, where he gets multiple clones using his hair, where each strand of hair becomes a clone of Wukong. So he blows wind at Wukong's clones, knocks them out, also blinds Wukong because the wind is actually, it's dusty and very powerful. Wukong gets blinded. What is that guy? He's got a cool looking staff. Hold on, let's sneak up on him if we can. Oh no, all 3 nodes for nothing. Looks like he has spells. So do we. Ow. We'll read all the codexes a bit later, because we're not done explaining the starting rap just yet. Essentially, Wukong gets blinded, had to get help from Buddhist guardians who give him a lotion for his eyes, and then Lingji shows up, the Pusa who was supposed to be in charge of him in the first place. That's why, the rap song claims that he has protection from heaven, because these Buddhas know what he's doing down here, and they don't really care about the mortal room. It's just basically a satire on the fact that, they're trying so hard to go west to pick up scriptures to supposedly save the mortal people from escaping this path of incarnation and reach enlightenment. But along the path, all the monsters that they fight are essentially things related to Buddha and his followers. And going back to the rap, I think it ends with 幸得大圣借佛力, so lucky to have 大圣, which is Wukong, to come here and borrow the power of Buddha to end this threat. And basically peace is returned here as the evil wind is quelled. But then, well, we got another guy. There's a shield stamina, I think. We can break the shield. Let me get in front of him. I want to see if I can break the shield. Yes, we can. And after the evil wind is stopped, after some time, he somehow comes back, right? He comes back, and, the one who commits the crime gets to live free, while the fortunate one, or the destined one in this case, lie there mysteriously with the porcupine, all the arrows stuck in him. And that's the rap. We'll see him again. He's going to sing other lines. The game developer picked this format to present the narrator here for a lot of reasons. He's headless, which is a spoiler for the end of the stage. Don't really want to, straight up tell that right now. We'll come and find out. I don't think we missed anything. Can we jump up there? Like I said, the stages are going to get a little bit more open. Stage 1 was definitely more linear, and the stage design was definitely meant to be a little bit easier. I don't think we can get up there. Now, typically there's only one jump, right? But if you do jump and attack, you actually get a second jump. And that's going to become quite useful in this stage. I think that's it. We can move ahead and find our first shrine. And then once we get there, I'm going to teleport back to stage 1 to pick up some of the stuff that you can only pick up after you complete it. And then we'll take a break and look at all the codexes we have gathered so far. I think we fought 2 new enemy type. 3. The one with the shield, the one with the repeating crossbow, and the one with the magical staff that has the electric abilities. Where are the Tuli Miao in this place? We were supposed to get those, you know, glowing marks guiding us to them. Oh, there we go. Speak of the devil. Oh, these are Xuanguan? These are cliff burials. These are coffins. Like, we opened them a couple times before. But this is definitely a custom out in the western parts of China where you have a lot of mountains. You would hang, well, not hang, but you would basically rest your coffin on the edge of cliffs like this. Alright, do you see an enemy there? Some of these coffins look like we can open them, right? That one has a lid. These does not, so I'm guessing those we don't open. Okay, so it's being guarded by this guy. Let's kill him, but let's see if I can open this. We're tomb raiding here. Nope. But how come only this one has a lid? Yeah, can't really do anything there. Come close, come close. Height difference. We have a different version of the local shrines. Stage 1 was about the dried up, I guess that was a plum tree with the flower coming out. Here we have a shrine that resembles a classic temple with 2 doors and 2 guardians, opening its way to the golden Buddha statue. Alright, we have new crafting formulas again. Oh, a different path has been unlocked for our staff. The bear staff. Crit goes up by 4%. Attack goes to 50 from 40 on the snake, 30 on the base wooden. And our invisibility ability. Yep, the one where we disappear for a moment. The attack that we come out of invisibility gets an increased crit rate. 4 monster cores, which is all we have. 烈火乌金, the material dropped by the bear boss at the end of stage 1 is used to upgrade this. Yeah, I think we do take this. Can I take a look at the staff? It doesn't look particularly like bears, though. Looks like a bunch of demon heads, or maybe even lion heads at the tip. But the name does suggest bear. And we did beat a bear to get it. So I guess the game lets you kind of customize. You can go back to that form if you want. Wait, do we have to pay materials to go back? No way. Because I see a crafting cost being listed. Well, we're still going to go with the one with more crit rate and more damage. I don't regret the crafting. I just wonder if we have to pay those costs again. Or perhaps those costs, like the rare item, does it not go away after you use it? Because if that's the case, that's also fine. Oh, we have new clothes. So let's see. Wu Jin Jinpo. Okay, so looks like a bear fur on that. Also has to do with our invisibility body. Our clone will have black wind surrounding it, doing constant damage. Okay, so basically drop this in between the enemy. We need a 3-set bonus for it. It's furry for all of them. What are we missing? We're missing... Wait, this is also new, isn't it? The bronze one. Oh no, this is when we break stuff. This is just the one we didn't get. Yeah, we are missing the gauntlet plus the leg piece for these. Okay, let's grab that. Special effect for this is after we come on invisibility, we increase the damage of that one hit. This is the last light combo. I'm just finishing the set that we didn't get to finish before. So now we have the 4-set bonus. The cooldown of the freeze spell is greatly reduced. We're short on will. Well, time to farm some mobs. We're also short on silk, right? We have 3 pieces of silk left. 2 for the body, 1 for these 2. So we actually need 4, but we're short on that. I think this is okay. It's better for slower fights. You heal more in total. Increasing max health actually benefits this heal because it's off of 45%, but the first 20 happens immediately, but the second 25 happens afterwards. So I think increasing max health would increase that last 25% a little bit more. Poison resist, increase a little bit more damage slowly over time, which is really the passive effect of the drink. So we're gonna throw this ram skull in there. Still poor. What can we buy from here? Oh no, we're too poor to go back and buy what I want to buy. Okay, they sell silk here. They sell monster core as well for weapon crafting. So basically, we come to realize that we're actually quite poor. And that some farming is probably needed. Right, so we have this, the Fang. I guess we get the Fang back when our weapon is changed. So we do need to craft it back, and some of the lesser material will be expended, and the will be expended, but the, core piece for the snake staff, for example, will be given back to us. Because I don't think we got a second one. This was the one we got after beating the white snake boss. Oh, we have a lot more to record. Up to 29. I think the first stage gave us 14. 9 new elites. 5 new characters. Not 7 more, only 6 more. Because there's one boss from stage 1 that requires an item that we need to get in stage 2 before we can go back and fight it. Let's see, they're all added in here. The rat crossbowman. 平定副班. Fu Ban is a mythical bug creature. We're getting the lore of this area, which is not from the novel. The novel was quite short when it came to the Yellow Wind Ridge. So a lot of the story is going to be sort of original for the purpose of the game. But Fu Ban is sort of an ancient Chinese mythological insect used to represent greed. It's a very small insect, typically from, I guess, traditional lore, but here it might be a different version. It crawls around, and whatever it sees or picks up off the ground, it puts it on its back. And it does this until there's so much weight that it crushes itself, symbolizing greed, basically. And if you go there and help it by removing some item off its back, it keeps crawling afterwards as it's, not crushed anymore, and still doesn't learn a lesson. And whatever it bumps into, it will continue to pick up until it gets crushed again. But facing this monster, so there's a monster version of this insect. It's a fictional insect. It's not a real insect. Sihali Guo, the kingdom of Sihali, which I guess is where we are, formed an army that's called the Si Jun, the army of 4 feathers. Feathers here being sort of the Fletcher reference to arrows. And they were all excellent crossbowmen. They are able to shoot repeating arrows off of their dragon bone crafted repeating crossbows, and they were able to shoot through metal plates with the strength of their arrow. Now, typically, when you have a repeating crossbow, you don't get as much piercing power, but I guess this is a fictional version. And when they get these, treasured weapon of the dragon's spine crossbow, as you can see in the little art, they get super excited and they practice super hard to, take most advantage of this powerful weapon. And they're hoping to combine their skills to bring victory. So that night, as everyone surrounded and watched and talked about the strategies to beat the enemy, an elder practitioner says, shoot its eyes so it cannot see, and then that bug cannot hit us. A young practitioner says, shoot its heart, cut off its breath, and we take its life right away. The brave practitioner says, shoot its leg so it stops moving and can only wait there wherever it stands until death. So they debate on how to approach this fight as they're about to be tasked with fighting this bug creature. No one can be convinced that the other's way is better, so they decide to just, do their own thing in battle. The next day during the battle, the army is very organized, marches out, and upon command, shoots out their arrows like rain. Unfortunately, everyone is aiming for their own target, and not one arrow is going to be aimed at the same spot. And this became a problem because the exoskeleton of this bug is extremely thick. And after a volley of arrows, he's not harmed one bit. It's just like scratch for him, and the army is defeated. So the saying goes, those who do not have the same goals, they don't get stronger when they work together. As one's own power has a limit. The things in this world, especially grand things, it takes a combined effort from many parties with the same goal to overcome. If everyone's heart is in their own place, then you're destined to fail. They basically give a little summary and end result there. And then we have a rat guard. Shaman Cun, the village of the Sand Gate, has a widow. Her husband, a widow, I guess her previous husband, was killed by the Tiger Vanguard, eaten alive, so there's not even a body remains. Only thing that was left behind is a shield of the Sand King. It's a gift from the previous king in the old day. And fortunately, the widow was able to, she was pregnant before his death and was able to give him a son after his death. So the clan continues. As this kid grows up, the widow points at the shield. If in the future you guys cannot slay the tiger, then you're not a son worthy of our family. So essentially, she wants revenge. So the kids, multiple kids, how many kids does she... Oh, right. These are rats. It's a litter. So she gives birth to a litter of kids. And these kids practice very hard with Sha Arlong, the second son of the Sand, character that we are not familiar with at this point. And he's practicing and drilling them, hoping that they will one day grow up and be able to kill the Tiger Vanguard and avenge their father's death. Amongst these kids, there was one who was particularly frail and not good at practicing martial arts, so instead he spends his time learning literature. The widow is not happy about this and frequently beats him and scolds at him. So he tries a couple times to learn the martial arts, but unfortunately, he just doesn't have the strength and in his, limbs. His arms are frail, his legs are not steady, and every time he wants to learn a move, it takes him months, and even then, it doesn't really progress well. So even the second son of the sand is trying to persuade him to try to find a different way of life. So he agrees and he stops practicing martial arts. And he sees that his brothers, right, the litter, they're all being promoted to positions like captain. They're wearing their red armor, holding their golden shield, and only him with nothing. So the mother scolds him even more frequently and often. And there's one time she goes a little overboard with her scolding and curses him. Even if you die in the tiger's stomach, you get eaten away, it's better than you staying here at home being garbage, being a useless person. And he gets riled up by this. So he steals his father's shield and picks up a spear to charges out to the tiger vanguard to die, because he doesn't want to live like this and get, looked down by his own mom every day. The tiger vanguard uses 2 moves and he gets flipped onto the ground. The tiger opens his mouth and wants to eat him. But just at this moment, from far away comes a piece of brick, a couple pieces of brick being thrown at the tiger's head. The tiger vanguard, freezes in place and swipes towards where these bricks are coming from. And there were a bunch of mice or rats there. And these rats, okay, wrong translation. He freezes in place because the brick hit him, and then he feels his claw gets loose, right? He was holding the mice, the rat that was being defeated, who was about to eat him. He was basically dangling this rat in his hand. And then after these, bricks get thrown at him, he feels that his grip is loosened, like the rat slips away. And then he sees there are a bunch of different rats pulling his food to run away, the previous rat that he had already captured. He was about to chase after them, but then he sees some rat guards, captains that he has not previously seen before, who used to guard the Shaanxi, the sand outposts, holding their long spears, forming a shield wall, and getting ready to, fight to the death in formation. So because he sees this very organized band of rat captains that he hasn't really seen before, he allows this band of rat to leave with his food, the, fragile, weak runt of the litter. Later on, he switches careers. So instead of trying to be a, shield and spear guy, he learned how to shoot arrows with those rat crossbowmen. And because maybe he has a good head, as in he's kind of smart, he shoots quite accurately and used his arrows or his crossbows to save some of his brother's life, and that repays them for saving his. Okay. So basically the shield, comes from this litter of rats from a widow in the village. I guess everyone's a rat here. That's why there's a rat and cat problem, as, the headless monk sung to us. The cat is the tiger problem. Sikong, Grand Excellency of the Masses. The rat version of it. Seems like they have quite the bureaucracy. I guess it's a kingdom, right? 四哈里国. 更名元年. They changed their calendar name to the first year. 元年 usually means, the beginning. And the king issues a 禁属令. An order to respect the rats. Maybe this is in the past, when there was still a kingdom here of people, because they're issuing an order to respect the rats You can think of it as you can hear some Buddhism culture. Let's say in Japan, there's an island where they respect the deer. They don't kill the deer there, and it's basically a deer sanctuary. There are parts of India that respects the cow, and also I think there's respect the monkey, and maybe there is a respect the rat in certain location where you don't harm that animal. You believe that animal brings good fortune, and you allow them to coexist with us. Although not a particular great idea with rats due to disease carrying. But anyways, they are passing on a respect the rat order. So everyone throughout the kingdom prayed to the rat as a creature blessed by the heaven. They cannot kill it. If you kill a rat, you're committing a crime, and the king will interrogate you personally. After the order comes out, within 100 li, or 50 kilometers, all sorts of rat monsters are suddenly migrating to this Liu Sha Guo, this land, this kingdom of the flowing sand, because they can be sort of treated as deities here in a sense. And suddenly normal citizens and these monsters are living together, leading to many unfortunate things. But even then, because of the order of the king, they can only tolerate it. The citizens can only tolerate it. And over time, we have scholar officials sort of signing a joint petition to plead with the king to change this rule because of all the negative impact brought by these rat monsters attracted by this new edict. And they are asking that to isolate these rat monsters to just a corner of the town so that citizens, regular citizens, can live in peace. They're hoping to move all the rats to the southwestern corner of their town. And within this group of official scholars is an elder who is great at fortune telling. So on the day where hundreds of them are signing this joint edict to plead with the king, he performs a fortune, and the signs tell him that it's extremely bad. So because he notices this, fortune, he quietly tells himself, and he tells his two younger officials, so basically they're like his disciples or people who are little followers of him, to remove the three of their names from this joint edict. And he tells them that it's because today is just not a good day, as told by the fortunes, and it's not a good day to join the edict. And they, together, the three of them, also excuse themselves from court by saying that they're sick, so they stay home. But his two younger apprentices, I guess officials, don't really care about this, and they're riled up by this, mass movement to counter the king's edict, and they don't do this, and they continue to go, but he removes his name from the petition. And just as he leaves the imperial court, the imperial army, the guards, surrounds this assembly hall, and they go in and kill all the officials who signed this petition. He survives because he left already, and he's kind of covered his ears hearing the screams and kind of shaking in the corner. And finally he recovers and, leaves home. After 3 days, where the king doesn't hold assembly, as different officials are moved around to, facilitate these openings, the official that dodged all this gets promoted to Grand Excellency of the Masses, a first-tier position, very esteemed and prestigious, and he becomes, quite the political star for the period. After a few years, he looks into the bronze mirror, right? Mirrors back then were bronze, highly polished bronze, essentially like a glass mirror today, very similar. And he notices that his nose has become long and skinny, and that rough and thick whiskers, were starting to grow on his nose. After a while, he stopped looking into the mirror because he understands he and the remaining people are all the same. They all started to look like rats. Okay, so previously, Hasili Guo, the kingdom of Hasili, were occupied by people. But one day the king passes this edict, and then over time, for some reason, the remaining citizens who are living with the rat monsters are becoming rats themselves. So they're cursed, essentially. Interesting. Alright, we are going to go back. As I said, I want to teleport back to stage 1. I think we actually, these are the various locations in the first stage, 4 different zones. Each zone has a couple different shrine locations. We want to go back to the very first one, where we first met the soil deity, because there's an item that you can buy, which I guess unfortunately I probably can't buy right now because I don't have enough will. But I do want to take a look at it and let everyone know that it's available. And you can go back and fight all the mobs again, although the bosses will not respawn. In the shop, a new item appears. 不求人. So this is the stick that you saw being held by the soil deity in his cutscenes. And this is what my family calls 痒痒挠, which means itchy itchy scratch. And it's essentially a stick that you use, the hand on the top. It's a back scratcher. And the official name is called 不求人, which is what it says right here, which means no need to beg others, as in you don't have to ask others to help you scratch your back. You can use this to scratch your back, but you know, I grew up, my grandpa had a different name for it. It's a pretty useful item. It increases your max stamina. It's not super expensive. 2,400 will. I think I just went a little overboard with the crafting. And we'll come back and buy this. This is only available after you beat the first stage, and it's only available in this shop in particular, I believe. So definitely don't miss out on it. In the meantime, I guess we have to go back. I'm gonna heal right here. Reset everything, and then go back to, okay, so it's Shaman Swin. We're at the village of the Sand Gate, and we're at the village entrance. And with each of these stages, there's going to be more environmental puzzles that can potentially unlock hidden areas, and there are one magical item related to, you know, each of the bosses that you can pick up, like the fire protection cloak that we still have, that we can still use. Oh, look at that. On those rooftops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rat crossbowmen. What is this statue here? Statue, right? Not gonna come alive? Okay, not gonna come alive. I think we're supposed to go over there into the village. Oh, we need the will. Even the camera's pulling us that way. Oh, a new... Well, he just comes in and swipes, huh? I wonder, he does poison us. I wonder if the poison will remain when we go back to the Destin one. Either it timed out or we're just not poisoned anymore, which is great. Can't go that way. Okay, I know where we are. We're gonna be lost quite a bit because I recognize the coffins. Yeah, you get the double jump right there. The inconsistent invisible wall is definitely the most annoying part of the game. Like, without seeing that collectible mushroom, we probably don't know to jump this way. 360 is not enough. I want to sneak up to those archers naturally if we can get behind them somehow before we have to fight them. Oh, another one that uses a staff. So that is the Grand Excellency, right? The staff user is the Wukong. Right, the double jump is very useful. Monster core. Oh, do they see us? No. 4 on top, 1 on the bottom. How do we sneak up to the 4 on top? There's a new monster over here too, behind this courtyard. Oh, oh. They closed the gate. They're looking for someone who betrayed them. And they're issuing a reward for capturing the one who betrayed them. Wait, someone's pleading with the rats, claiming that he's here to see their master. Like, I don't know what that thing is, but we seem to be crashing some sort of party here. It's a mistake, it's a mistake. I'm here to see your master. I don't mind fighting him, but I don't want to fight him and him in the back. Oh, he's been tied up, the person who they are looking for. I don't see him, but I hear him. Alright, I do want to hit him. Come, 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 come. We're not going to hit him. The elevation difference. Ooh. I guess we might have to approach those archers head on. Oh, I have some skill points. Right, we can do a few things with that then. I can get the moving while deflecting arrows. And I can use the heavy as a connection to get a gap close at the end, I think. Yep. Not sure if they will help us that much with this, but should be useful. I can also go invisible spell and see if I can sneak behind. The thing is, we have to jump up. How, though? Using the ridge on that side? Look at all these arrows. Oh, we're already in range. Okay, another plan is we use our fire cloak. Which, hold on. Should protect us being burned, but we still need to protect ourselves from the arrows. Let's not. I'm combat locked onto something. Oh, he jumped down with me. Perfect. Alright, maybe we can sneak behind this way. Well, I guess the jump attack uses up our nodes. I can't jump over here, invisible wall. So this is not the path behind them. Where does this lead? Wait, back to the beginning again. So this is a shortcut from this side. Maybe we just have to deal with them head on then. But even if I'm going to deal with them head on, I need to at least get up to their level. They're reloading. Renyuhua, that's a new herb. Am I allowed to jump up here? Nope. I guess we have to find a different way. Alright, direct assault it is. Wrong input. Stamina low. And we become a porcupine again. How do we overcome this group? Switch our staff stance to the one where we get to stand up straight. We can also go invisible and bypass it somehow and then get behind. Let's see. Well, that guy spawns back. Oh, pick up animation if we just go straight. The village of Shaman, the sand gate. Let him tank it for us? Friendly fire? No? Alright, let's go invisible. I think we can open the gate for not invisible. There's a button here, but I can't... Can I not interact with it in combat? Okay, I got the double jump across. Can't double jump this. Do I... Oh! We got stuck there with a bug. Do I really have to switch our stance to use the standing stick for this? Open sesame. Nope. Wait, can't I just jump this? Sort of? I can't fit in between this gap, even though I'm kind of on this gap. So this gate requires some sort of key, maybe? Yeah, I don't think we can just get through this way. We need to find a different approach here. Oh, no. Alright, it's okay. We're gonna reset our skill tree and thus get our mana back too at the shrine. And then we'll see if we can take a different approach here. I guess we have to use the standing form? And also, let's just run with it and see how it feels, because we really haven't tried that yet. Although getting up would be difficult and not getting shot as well. If we have 3 nodes, we can drink atop of the stick. That's pretty cool. There's a follow-up move. And if our follow-up move uses all the nodes and do more damage. Okay, that's all cool and all, but we also need to do the swirls. We can increase our nodes a little faster when we do the swirls. Use less stamina when we do the swirls, and increase our stance points much more when we hit opponents. I have seen builds where it uses this to build up your stance point really, really fast, and then you unleash your heavy. Might be worth a try. How many more points do we have? 6 more points. Ooh, this is a pickup of light attack after a dodge. There's a lot of really useful skills on these that we just didn't have enough points for earlier. Increase our speed moving while invisible. Increase how long we'll be invisible. And well, that has to do mostly with our fake body, which sure, because I feel like that spell in particular might be useful here. Oh, we didn't need to heal up, so I'm trying to do. Oh, gotta change stance. Hold on. We're trying to do this. Well, they don't shoot at me. Right, wouldn't that be the challenge? And then we're trying to flip. Oh, I don't think we can flip up. Somehow I feel like we're not supposed to go this way just yet. Because I can't get through the gate. Must be a different route. Right, we were here earlier. We heard those voices. I am not used to this stance at all, but we're going to try to make it work. Can that patrol guy get closer? Yeah. Kind of did it a little bit early. Hi, hi. Ooh, little spell there. Stuns us a little. Two-headed rat? Ooh. Archers behind. Archers behind. How many archers? Yeah, PTSD about the archers. Ooh, does a little black wind. We can pull him back out of the archer's range first. Heal up. Fireblade? Ooh. I mean, if he's gonna be fire, might as well use the fire cloak that we have. Or this. Oh, does he explode? Oh my god. Well, one head spews out black smoke, other head spews out fire. And they explode after death. Well, we bumped our head into a few different obstacles. I think that one's going to require some sort of key to open that door. We're supposed to go this way first. We're going to just check out the description of the guy we just beat. And then probably end our episode here. As a lieutenant, it's a duwei. All these government positions. Zhuzi Guo, a different kingdom. Kingdom of Zhuzi had a old lady who gave birth to two-headed kid, right? Which is, I guess, turns out to be this rat, and everyone is shocked at this, birth. I guess it's just a, Siamese twin defect. My controller is getting disconnected on and off. There we go. It's back. Everyone, it's lamenting how difficult their life will be and says this must be a very difficult kid to, raise. Turns out he survived for his first year, which I guess is when most of the child mortality happens. And turns out he's also fitter and stronger and healthier than regular kids. So everyone then laments, even though he gets to survive, he's probably going to grow up to be an idiot or just someone who's mentally challenged. It turns out he grows up and he's actually quite smart. And because he has two heads, he is, much more imaginative than most other kids. So now twice that their predictions has failed, they become quite unhappy. The people become quite unhappy that what they think is not happening. So then they say this kid is going to bring misfortune and it's going to lead to disaster in the future for all of us. Regardless, over the years, countless rumor would appear, and because they're living with all these people giving rumors, they decide to just leave their home kingdom. So the two-headed kid leaves when he's grown up, I guess. It's been a couple decades since he left, and there was one day an insect monster who's carrying this giant stone Buddha head on his back, who's attacking the borders of the kingdom of Sihali. I think this is connected to the story earlier of the rat archers, or crossbowmen, as they were fighting Fuban, the creature that like to carry things. In this case, I guess he's carrying a giant stone Buddha head. So the king sends out his army to defend, but they keep losing. The morale in the army is a mess, and there are many who has ideas of retreating. And there's only one in the army, a giant with two heads, who asked to lead a group of elites to launch a raid against the monster. So I guess this is where our guy ended up. He went to the kingdom of Sahali. And that day, he sends out his elite in a single line formation. The monster charges them. So they throw, this is charcoal dust. So I guess it's not black smoke. The one head is spewing charcoal dust. So he's throwing charcoal dust at the monster. And then they throw out strong, high-proof alcohol. And they shoot out fires. They're trying to burn the monster. And the fire catches with the dust in the air. And it basically you get an explosion, right? If you have like flammable dust in the air and you shoot fire at it, you get a huge explosion, which is what killed us. The insect monster is scared of fire. After this battle, the insect monster gets scared and retreats back to the flowing sands. Seems like this move has temporarily worked to defeat the insect monster. The king is delighted and promotes this two-headed weirdo monster to become a lieutenant. And then he learned that his son is also of two heads. So he had a kid, and they're also two-headed. So he told them that their entire clan can inherit this position. So it becomes sort of a hereditary position of lieutenant, and encouraged all of his clan to come and join the army. And then the final line says, wonder when his hometown folks hear of this, what would they think? Because they always have negative stories about him. So he's just a minor enemy. We also bumped into our plant. Wusicang, another location name. A lot of these kingdom names come from the historical version of Journey to the West, when the Tang monk in the Tang Dynasty actually went to India for this purpose. Obviously not a lot of monsters, but he wrote down a lot of folklores, a lot of the smaller kingdom along the Silk Road that he visited. It was sort of a traveling journal that he kept. And a lot of the stories from that is adapted and made into a fantasy version with Journey to the West. And take, for example, Hasili, the kingdom of Hasili that we've seen so much where we are right now. It's the fable land of the far, far west, supposedly where the sun sets. And because it sets there, it has the longest day. And that plagued the land until Buddha came and give them a scripture that they can chant when they ring the drums. So basically they will hit the drums and then sing the scripture. It will kind of contain the sun and help it set so that they can have normal lives, and sort of like a local folklore type of settlement. And there's mentions of it in the Journey to the West. I think they're adapting that part of the story here for this setting in stage 2. But anyways, we have another location name, Wusicang, and there was a winery in this area that was quite famous for its medicinal alcohol. And the effects of it was quite unique while still tasting great. And thus the people nearby loved it, and they had great business, demand way more than supply. But the winery had the owner of the winery had two sons who were both of coming of age, 籍贯之年, when you get your headdress or your hat. It's a symbol of coming of age. Usually happens when you're 20, traditionally speaking, but in different time periods, sometimes it's a little bit earlier. Can be as young as like 16. And that's also when you get your style name. Anyways, the two sons are both young and they're both quite prideful, but they're loyal and they're benevolent at the same time. The key thing here is they don't like to learn how to make alcohol. They spend all their time on making friends. So they hang out quite a bit. They have a good network, but they don't really practice their family tradition of making alcohol. And no matter how much their dad scolds them, it doesn't really work. Then there's a time nearby when there was a family in the village that had a new death. So basically just had a funeral. But strangely enough, their gravestone, basically their relative who they just buried, the grave got dug up. So basically someone was tomb robbing of sorts. And they summon some local, I guess, youngsters to go investigate, who would come and, dig up the grave of this random villager. And they see that on the coffin, there was a giant hole in the coffin. And it grew all sorts of these mushrooms on the coffin. And while there was supposed to be, the body laying inside, the head was missing. And they say that this happens occasionally. So this is not the first time it happened in this village, but no one has found out why. So these two brothers, the sons of the winery owner, because they like to make friends and they like to network, they're socially very social butterflies, they decide that they want to get to the bottom of this, thing that happens infrequently, but it's so odd. So every day they would search in the mountains. They would leave in the morning, come back at night. And this night they stayed extra late. So it's already very dark. And they slip back home. But then they see this, shadow of a man that is going into their cellar, their wine cellar. So they thought maybe there's thieves. So they follow this, shadow that they see coming back home so late at night. And they see it's a monster whose head is this big fungi that's glowing blood red. And they jump at it and they try to go. Oh, they actually killed the monster. Wow. And the fighting sound disturbs the owner, or their father. And when he came down, he sees the fungi monster has already died. And he becomes angry and frustrated. And he tells his two sons the reason why they sell such good medicinal alcohol is because the medicinal alcohol is crafted for them by this fungi monster, right? The fungi is a medicinal herb, and he's helping them craft this alcohol. The two brothers were hoping to take the body of this monster and show off and be like, we killed the monster that's digging up these graves. But now that they know this monster has such a close connection to their family and their family business, they become embarrassed by this attachment or this association, and they don't really want to make the whole thing public. A few years later, the business, declines drastically because, without the fungi monster making the alcohol, their alcohol doesn't taste as good. And now the business has declined to the point where the family is poor. And the two brothers can't stand to see this poor sight of the family, and they want to leave their home and go find a new career, basically, somewhere. And before they left, their father hosts a feast for them and invited countless friends and families to basically say goodbye to them as they go out on their own. And strangely enough, the moment after they left, the business recovered and became as good as before, if not better. But the owner knows the reason why this was, as every day late at night, every day late at night, two shadows in the shape of his two sons would come back, except on their head would be sort of an umbrella-shaped cap, as they would come back and help him make the best liquor. So his two sons became the fungi monster in order to save their dad's business, even though they had no interest in this. Oh, this is another one of those kind of cryptic allegory type of stories. We'll come back. We'll challenge those two-headed rat once again, and hopefully not die to their explosion. I probably will do a couple things in between the episodes. I want to go back and farm enough wills to buy the stick, and I also probably want to change the build up a little bit, maybe get a few more levels. There also seems to be that new craftable armor set. I think we can get enough silk because they sell the silk pieces here. I also want to craft that. So we'll come back, we'll probably have a different build, we'll introduce the build, and we'll figure out how to get into the village, because those 4 archers up there, I don't think we have a solution for them right now, and I don't think we're supposed to. We're probably going to have to go that way first and maybe loop back. There seems to be some sort of creature in that, area behind them that we can peek from the fence, and we'll see who's the one that got captured and needs saving. Apparently, maybe it's another zodiac creature or deity that we can save and have a little dialogue with. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next time as we continue stage 2. Until then, bye!